everyone. My name is Oscar Ruiz, and today I'll be analyzing mass media and popular culture, which is going to help me understand how media shapes society, identity, and everyday life. Introduction. Mass media and popular culture shape how we see the world, define ourselves, and interact with others. From social media and movies to music and fashion, these platforms influence beliefs, behaviors, and social norms. This presentation explores key concepts like commodification and symbolic interactionism, using real-world samples to show how media not only reflects culture, but actively shapes identity, status, and everyday life. Number one, understanding of gender roles. What's the definition of gender roles? They are the social norms that dictate the behaviors, attitudes, and expectations considered appropriate for individuals based on their gender. Traditionally, these roles have categorized men as providers and women as caregivers, but they're increasingly being challenged and redefined. For this concept, the explanation is gender roles are expected behaviors, attitudes, and activities associated with one's gender, shaped by culture and social norms rather than the biology. In many ads, women are portrayed as objects of beauty or desire, reinforcing the social expectation that femininity centers on appearance and attraction. The connection to the image. The advertisement's pose, lighting, and styling reinforce traditional gender norms while emphasizing beauty, grace, and sensuality, while rarely depicting women in position of power or action. Second, we have the understanding of social stratification. And what does that mean? Well, the dictionary definition is that the social stratification refers to the hierarchical arrangement of individuals in society based on various factors such as wealth, power, race, and education. This system influences access to resources and opportunities. For example, in this concept, it means that the social stratification refers to the structural inequality between groups, often based on wealth, power, and prestige. Luxury brands like Bulgari symbolize belonging to the upper social class, selling not just jewelry, but status. How does this connect to my image? Well, the golden bracelet and elegant branding convey exclusivity and success. The product becomes a visual marker of social hierarchy, while communicating who can afford luxury and who cannot. For example, we can take just a simple watch, but if you give it to someone else, or if you give it to if you like put gold in it or put something more, that means that some people cannot afford this and it's gonna make a difference in the market. Three, we have racial representation in society. And what does this mean? Well, the definition is that racial representation refers to the inclusion and portrayal of different racial and ethnic groups in various societal contexts, such as media, politics, and workplaces. It plays a crucial role in shaping public perception and cultural narratives. The concept explanation means that the racial representation refers to how different races are portrayed in media, shaping public perception and cultural norms. Positive, diverse, represent, diverse representation can challenge stereotypes and promote inclusivity, but it also raises questions about authenticity and tokenism in marketing. And how does this connect to the image? Well, the image highlights a black woman in a self-care setting, historically underrepresented in beauty campaigns. It promotes diversity but also commodifies it, turning racial inclusion into a selling point. So before we used to see a lot of ads with white people or mostly light-skinned people, but now we're trying to sympathize with everyone. So we do include people of color, Latinos, or different other cultures that can easily share the image of we are inclusive, not only in text but also in pictures so people can see them. Four, what is the impact of commodification? So the definition of commodification means that it refers to the process of transforming goods, services, ideas, or even people into items that can be bought, sold, or traded. This process often alters the intrinsic value of cultural or personal identities, focusing on market-driven perception rather than their inherent qualities. What is a concept explanation? Well, commodification is a process of turning ideas, emotions, or identities into marketable products. Modern ads often sell not just goods, but dreams, freedom, or empowerment, which turns intangible human experiences into consumer goods. Connection to image. Zendaya's image symbolizes aspiration, creativity, and individuality, but all of those emotions are tied to the product being sold. The ad markets a feeling of empowerment, not just clothing, exemplifying how emotions become a commodity. So, for example, when we go to Nike and we see their logo that says, just do it, they're not just selling shoes. They're trying to sell you the idea of, well, you have those shoes, you can do whatever you want. Well, you can have those shoes, you can have the idea that you can run, you can jump, you can do different activities. So it's not just like you can do it by having our merch, but having that idea that they're going to help you achieve that with their clothing or with their shoes. Same with the example of Zendaya and Cloud, which by having the photo that says Cloud on or Dream on, it makes you think that they're really soft, they're gonna make you run faster. It's just making you have that idea of you can do something else with having their brand. Next, we have the understanding of symbolic interactionism. What is the definition of symbolic interactionism? Well, it is a micro-level sociological theory that explains how individuals construct social reality through shared meanings and interpretations. What is a concept explanation? Symbolic interactionism explores how people give meaning to symbols through social interaction. Normally, objects gain significance not by their material nature, but through shared culture meaning. And how does this connect to my image? The proximity of a luxury bag with a rural setting challenges how society assigns meaning to class and value. The Ferragamo bag acts like a symbol of wealth, which is reinterpreted into a humble, working class environment, revealing how meaning shifts depending on context. So in this photo, we have these gloves, which are Loro Piana gloves. This is a really expensive brand, but by having this in a context where there's a working people, there's this background with like a lot of nature, is making you think that, oh, it's actually really helpful for whatever activity happening. So even though these are like $2,000 3,000 clubs, by putting it in this setting, it kind of humbles them down, but at the same time emphasizing the luxury that even as a working class, you may not able to, yeah, you might not be able to afford them, but it still is making you dream of that. It's making you think of that and how that can eventually help you out and work for it. In conclusion, mass media and popular culture are not just entertainment. They shape who we are and how we interact with the world. Concepts like commodification and symbolic interactionism reveal how media reflects society while also steering trends, behaviors, and perceptions. By understanding these forces, we can engage with media more critically and see the powerful role it plays in shaping everyday life. In, Meaning that one of the examples that I thought about is Black Friday. We normally wait until Black Friday to buy all of this stuff. We normally see the ads, we see these deals, but in reality, it's just the same product being sold over and over again, and them just playing with us and with our minds, and how they are making us think that by having these deals, we are saving, we need them. If anything, it's just the necessity of buying. It's not even a need anymore. Thank you so much.